What's good, YouTube? It's Yellow again. Don't got my braids in this time. I kind of took them out, as you can see. I didn't cut nothing short. It's just like this for now until I go and meet my braider again. So we're gonna get that handled one of these days soon. But we're back today because we're gonna talk about a topic about navigating in the freelancing world or freelance filmmaking. So I want to tell it to you from my perspective. It's not always gonna be the perfect perspective. It might not be the right thing that works for you, but I'll tell you what worked for me and maybe I can give you tips. Been doing this freelancing thing for like more than 10 years now, so I might know a little one or two things about being a freelance filmmaker and being able to live off of what you do. Like I said, I've been freelancing for more than 10 years now. When I picked up a camera, the first thing was trying to figure out my niche or figure out a niche. At the time, I think I said in the last video, I went to a state university, but they didn't really teach me much and I wanted to shoot stuff. I finally stacked up enough money to get my first camera, which was the Canon 7D. So I wanted to make sure that my camera at the time was right and I'll be able to at least have that quality, since I didn't know how to use it, to at least impress clients or future potential clients, you know what I mean? With me, I had somewhat of an advantage over a lot of other people because while I was in college, I became a club promoter. And with me, like I tell people, I was never a party person. I never really liked the club. My best friend got me into club promoting. I just became good at it. And then when I start to realize that, I never understood that what I was doing was I was learning marketing at the same time, which I never went to school for. But now it's like, I feel like I'm a marketing whiz because with us creating content, it's all marketing. Like everything is marketing, whatever the content you're creating is used to market. So remember, that's a marketing tactic as well to use for your clients so they can see that, content is everything, especially videos. People want to see something. People want to see stuff move. You get what I'm saying? Back then, I had a good ear for what's good music coming up thanks to like the internet. At the time, it was like MySpace and Twitter first starting out, so that was a good sense of what people liked at the time and what people across the country was listening to too. I was able to reach out to a lot of music artists back then that had a little buzz, but they weren't on that radio level yet. But I was able to reach out to them for them to reach back to me as well. I was bringing out music artists to the club back in the day and paid them like not a whole lot of money, but because at the time they weren't like worth a lot of money, and now if you were hitting them up today, they're worth a lot. Back then when I was a club promoter, I was working with a lot of music artists, and that made me learn the music industry, like the business side, where it comes to contracts, riders, when they're signed to certain labels or what type of label deal that they got. Like it all goes hand in hand on what these artists are able to do and not do. So the music industry just kind of like came into my head and I understood it so well. So when it came down to me walking away from the nightlife scene and picking up a camera, I was just thinking like, damn, I need to shoot some stuff. And I never understood, like, back then when I had all these phone numbers and all, and even like talking to some of these artists today, back then when they weren't as big as they are today, I was able to talk to them one-on-one and I had all their contacts. But I never understood, like, I have all these contacts, cool, but like what else can I do with them besides just call them back for another show? Like, hey, we want to bring you back out for another show, what's your rate? When I picked up my camera, that gave me the spark. Let's shoot music videos. Of course, at the time, like, it wasn't as saturated as it is today. It was still people out there trying to shoot some music videos and stuff like that, but just not at like the greatest quality level, especially on a DSLR level, because people were still on the red cams and so on. So what I did was I basically started in the music video route, just started working with music artists locally, started putting at least a lot of time and effort into the videos, even if the budget wasn't big. I needed to make sure that the world saw a good first impression of me as a video director, because they see this club promoter turn into a video director. It's like, like, what does he know about video directing? But a lot of them didn't know that. I was going to school at the time. But so with that being said, that's how basically I got into it and just kind of leveled on and just, it's a lot of networking. So let me break it down at least to the different components you might at least need minimally. Let's start with equipment. You need at least basic equipment that can get the job done. Even if it's like nowadays, you can go on Amazon, get some nice cheap LED lights. If you know how to light, it doesn't have to be RE lights. It doesn't have to be Mole Richardsons or anything of that sort. You don't have to have quasars or Titan bulbs or anything like that. If you know how to light and understand cinematography, you should look into that. There's plenty of other videos online on YouTube that will show you how to light. Maybe I'll do a lighting course or something like that, just to kind of give you guys an idea on how to light subjects, or even how to even come up with creative lighting. But you only need basic lighting just to get things done. Of course, camera, yes. Pick a camera that you can function, control, and then also understanding the camera, making sure that the quality is A1 so that you'll be able to impress those clients that you have. You know what I mean? Like you don't need to get a red cam, you don't need to get like a super whatever camera or even a black magic. You can make anything work. I always tell everyone, and this is something I always tell, you can have a Lamborghini, but if you can't drive stick, it's useless. So if you know how to work your camera, and I've worked my Canon 7D for over 8 years before I finally switched over, and it's got me so much work. I've been on TV because of that camera. So if you know how to work your camera, make it work. That's all I can say. Like the camera I'm currently using right now is a Sony a7 III. If I'm doing a lot of content work, a lot of work where it's like I gotta pick up, run and gun and stuff like that, if there's anything to a different standard, I'll shoot with my red cam. I have a Red Raven, the most inexpensive of the Reds currently. They don't make it anymore because there's already a new series out right now, which I would love to get my hands on, but still back ordered, and it's very inexpensive. Also a small compact camera and affordable camera as well. So when more in stock comes in, I'm gonna try to go snag me another one. But until then, you don't need a red. Honestly, a lot of times, a lot of these clients, if they're not film people or they've never been behind the camera before, they can never tell the difference. If you know how to set up your camera, if you know what kind of lenses to use just to give it that A1 feel. Lenses, there's plenty of lenses out there. Depending on what looks good to you, what works for you. Like the camera I'm using right now for this is my a7 III, and I use a Tamron 28-75. And the reason why I got it, one, because it's way cheaper than getting a G Master. G Master is like the same amount as a body, 2200. And two, it's a lighter lens. So when you put it on a gimbal, that weight can pull you down for a minute, and you don't want to run around with this heavy camera for a while longer because you're not wearing a strap. You're putting it on either a Ronin S, or if you got the Zinyu, whatever. I always get that name wrong, but you know what I'm talking about if you know about cameras. Good glass is good to get. Make sure the glass is A1. I made sure I did some comparisons between the lenses before I got this one, because the thing about this, it's a very versatile camera just because it's a zoom. It's not going to be the most sharpest camera like a prime lens, but it gets the job done, especially if you know how to compose your shot and make everything look A1. And then the last component is building some work or something to show for. So I know us starting out, it's hard to just get work when you don't have a resume or never had anything to show for. So what you got to do is you're going to have to go out and just shoot your own stuff. Shoot your own promos, shoot your own videos, learn while you're doing it. If you're trying to get into the music video industry, hit up some music artists, because honestly there's a lot of music artists, indie artists. To them, this is gonna help them if you're good or not. Hey, they want to build also. Go out there, shoot some stuff, make it as best as possible, and then put together a nice reel. Even with commercial work, if you want to get into the sneaker industry, get some sneakers and just shoot something. Put something together and shoot a spec. A spec is basically a commercial that's unofficial, I guess you could say that, or something unofficial of a product or a brand that you're trying to put together by yourself. Usually with specs, you could take it to the brand and show them. They might even pay you for it. But then again, shoot those things. You could shoot multiple. You don't have to take it to the brand. You could grab any product and just make something dope out of it. Make something nice, be creative, and then start stacking up that work and put together a nice, filmmaker reel, director reel, whatever you want to call it. Put it together and use that to show people. You know what I'm saying? You never know, with these music videos, if you did something dope that's really nice and there's zero budget, these clients don't know what the budget of these videos are. You can tell them yo, this video was a $3,000 budget, but you know what? I can do the same thing for you for $2,000 or $1,500, just to kind of level it up, just to get them to understand that. Because look, maybe it's not a $3,000 budget, but that video's worth $3,000. You get what I'm saying? It's not the value of how much you put in, but it's the value of the work and the product. You get what I'm saying? So it's always about the product. The final product is why people hire you. That's why I hate dealing with clients that ask you what kind of camera you use. It shouldn't matter what camera you use. It should matter what kind of work you can do. So if they hit you up and never see none of your work, that's really not a client you should work with. You'll get those clients that go,
"Hey, so you do videos?"
It's yeah, I do videos.
What kind of camera you use?
No, that right there is, you want to work with someone that's seen your work and seen what you can do and wants you to do something with their product or their service or whatever that they're trying to sell or needing a video for. And then one thing you also got to do is, with the type of videos you want to shoot, or direct or whatever you're trying to do. If you're trying to go into a certain industry, make sure you put work where that industry can see that kind of goes along the lines of what they're looking for. So like say, hey, I want to go into the hand sanitizer industry and do videos for hand sanitizers. This is an example, so don't make fun of me for this, but say you want to get into the commercial hand sanitizer industry and you want to shoot videos about hand sanitizers. You should shoot videos on your own with hand sanitizer or products of hand sanitizer and anything that goes around this industry, especially what's going on now. Just as a thinking tool, if you're doing stuff with hand sanitizer, you should shoot stuff about masks and gloves and stuff like that. Any products or anything that goes hand in hand with this, that's the industry that will see some of that. I'm just using it as an example. Like I said, I don't know exactly what else is around this world, but if you're going towards that world, also see what's around that world that will attract those type of clientele that will see, oh, so you can do stuff that's this and this. So make sure that you're doing that. Now with music video, for me, what worked for me is one, I built relationships going through events and stuff like that. Or two, say you want to work with an artist that you like, but they're kind of a little bit up there, they're not arm's reach to you. So what I usually do is I will talk to people in this camp or try to reach out to people around them, work with them, and at least I have that arm's reach to them because they'll still be responding back to me, and then I'll work with them also, and then I'll do all their videos, and if they're a music artist or whatnot. And then you'll never know, that artist that you were trying to reach, they'll probably see that and want to work with you also. So that's where you shine. You just got to work your way in however it goes. Sometimes you can't just go straight there and make that jump. So you got to jump into these little obstacles or these little hurdles to get there, or to these little levels. The best thing about freelance filmmaking is like you create your own schedule, you make your own time, you make your own deadlines. Sometimes you make your own deadlines, but you work around what you're working around. But then one thing about freelance filmmaking is you have to constantly work. You're working constantly because you don't know when the next job is coming. So you got to make sure that you're doing the greatest job possible. You're going to deal with clients that might not like your work. And hey, you know what? You can't be mad at that because not everything you're going to do, you're not going to make everyone happy. You get what I'm saying? I can tell you personally, I've never made every single person I've done a video for happy. But what you can do is you can fix the problem. So make sure you don't just dump that client and not talk to them again and just leave it being, because you got to remember, it's still your name and your reputation you got to take care of. Make sure your reputation is kept clean, because at the end of the day, even if you don't like them, they're an or they're an in the industry or some of that sort, they probably still know people, they probably can get the word around, and you don't want that bad name being spread around about you. You want to make sure at least whatever that they need to fix or whatever they're mad about the video where it needs this and that, it's only going to take you a little bit of your time just to get it done, get it fixed, and get it over with. Just whatever it takes, just finish it off and just don't work with them again. At least at the end of the day, if the relationship soured out, at least you can say that the product was finished and I got it back to and fixed everything that they needed for them to have. Regardless if they weren't easy to work with, hey, at least you can say that. So if people try to question you, it's like, I still delivered them a product and I just finished the product and I fixed it and got it done for them. And if they still complain about my work ethic, you know what? It'll show. So usually clients like that goes around and will have the same issue with other people that try to work with them also. So if you know you're a good person, you know you're a good filmmaker, you know you're a good business person, just leave it at that. And I believe in karma. Karma will bite other people back. Yeah, with freelance filmmaking, there's no easy way to get into it. Honestly, in this whole entertainment industry, there's no perfect way to get into what you're doing. You just have to kind of navigate, understand the basics, and figure out what you have to do to get in, depending on where you're trying to get in at. With me, I'm still trying to be a feature film director, but I still have to figure out where I need to go to get there. But what I did was, as I'm navigating towards that, at least I'm doing stuff that I'm doing currently is what I love to do, which is shooting and filming and directing while I'm trying to get to where I'm going to also. So once you get into it, you'll be able to figure out step by step. But don't blur your final goal, but just keep making these small wins while you're getting to where you're supposed to go to. You're gonna figure it out. There's plenty of lanes open. If you're a good filmmaker, good person, good business person, you're out there and you're hustling, people will see you. Trust me, I've been hustling for over 15 years now, and people have really watched me and and seen how much I've grown and developed. So just keep working at it. It's not the easiest thing in the world. Like, you're gonna work 24/7, so you don't have to work a 9 to 5. So you're gonna be constantly having to get through this. The hardest part is trying to get paid and sustain doing this, and you're gonna have to just keep working. Sometimes people don't pay you on time. Sometimes you have to go chase your money. Sometimes you might get paid day of. Sometimes you might get deposits. It just depends on how different people work, different clients, different companies, different everything. So you just gotta just keep working, keep getting at it, and win. Just remember some of the guidance I've given you, and go back to it if you need to, and just use that as at least a platform for you to be able to do stuff. And make sure you get your way into it and kill it. Keep killing everything that you do. Constantly stay up to date with what's going on, what's new with our industry. Technically, the film industry is also a tech industry as well, so you want to stay up to date on what's new coming out, what new cameras there is, what new technology that's coming out for our industry, and stay on top of everything, because if you fall behind, these young kids is gonna just keep coming and coming. So just keep up to date, keep moving, and build that reel, make it work, and win. Until then, that's it. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, all that, wherever this is over here. I'm still learning where I'm putting everything at. But yeah, other than that, thank you very much. Peace.